After my divorce, it was about 9 months before I felt ready to start dating again. And I'm really happy to report I also attracted my soulmate as well. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, how to get dating ready after divorce. I'm Sarah and I'm a relationship therapist, and I help women get their dating confidence after divorce, no matter what they've been through. So please like and subscribe if you'd like to hear more content from me. So, getting back out into the dating world after divorce can be a really daunting prospect, and it's intimidating to say the least. And of course, we're a few decades older than we were when we were doing it the first time, it's and especially when after divorce, when we're feeling a lack of confidence. Um, but maybe you are feeling like I did, like I didn't want to give up on life just because I had a miserable divorce and I wanted to start creating my happier future. The reality is that millions have gone through it, and there are drawbacks and there are some misconceptions about dating after divorce, and we need to be able to set ourselves up for success, don't we? So, one of the biggest hurdles that people face, especially after divorce, um, and getting back out into the dating scene, is this fear of rejection, because our confidence may be at an all-time low, and that is especially true if you are separated or divorced from a toxic ex. And this is something that we do need to be mindful of. It is possible to overcome this fear of rejection with the right approach. The other thing that people are wary of is that they might fall for somebody who then hurts them again. And this causes people to sort of think twice about jumping straight back into the dating pool, and it certainly needs some consideration. And for that reason, we want to avoid rushing into dating before we're ready. So, the other issue that might be preying on your mind a little bit is that there might be some pressure to find another partner very quickly, or to find somebody compatible. When you've spent decades with the same person, that prospect can be a little bit overwhelming. And that's completely understandable, because you're actually, in looking at the possibility of going back out into dating, it's a brand new experience for you, and that comes with a certain amount of trepidation. Okay, and another issue that I know a lot of people our age, where we've sort of divorced in our 50s, the last time we were dating, we were quite a few decades younger, and we should all know that we bring a lot more wisdom to our life experience now. But there may well be a sort of an insecurity there about, well, I'm no spring chicken, or I'm not as I'm not as physically attractive as I was in my 20s, and that can be a little bit confidence sapping. But for many people, I think the biggest fear, and rightly so, is that we will end up being all alone. And we may have been in a relationship that was decades long, and we've, in a way, forgotten what it's like to be single. Does that resonate? Let me know in the comments. So, the thought of starting over again can be overwhelming, because you are at the threshold of building a new life for yourself, which, for me, although there was a lot of devastation with the divorce and the relationship breakdown, I kept a hope. I was hopefully optimistic that with the right tools I could build a much happier life going forward, and that's turned out to be the case. This fear that we may have may well hold us back, and this has an effect on people. Some people are so frightened of being hurt again, they don't want to go into the they don't want to go into the dating game. They'd rather be alone than hurt. And that's very black and white thinking, and it's not all your heart of hearts might feel that way, but actually we do need to connect with other people. And apart from anything else, don't we want a really lovely love life and want to develop intimacy, because that is what being human is all about? So just to back that point up a little bit, so it's really important for us to create space to develop a love life, because our humanness needs to do that. And if we lack intimacy with a fellow human, then we are at risk of developing mental health issues, which is not what we want when we're trying to create our happy ever after. We want to look at the whole of who we are, and we want to develop a much better quality of life and a much happier life moving forward. And it does include creating a love life for yourself. And especially if we have been through a very toxic split with a negative spouse, our mental health may have taken quite a serious hit through that. We have now to learn to meet our needs in positive, uplifting ways. And the possibility of starting dating again is part of that process. So, how do you start creating the confidence to start dating again? And I'm glad you made it to this video and my other videos, because this is exactly what I did for myself. It requires a lot of deep self-reflection, and that might require going to the places that are difficult and awkward, and reflecting on how things ended up the way they did. And I know a lot of people don't like to go to these places, but we really do have to make peace with everything that happened in order to move forward and feel confident that we're worthy of being happy. So really it's incumbent on us to become our own therapist. So to understand our deep psychological makeup. Now, obviously going to a therapist is going to help you an awful lot, especially if they are trauma informed or they have a specialism in relationship therapy. But we also have to take some responsibility for our own healing as well. Otherwise, we'll just be dependent on therapists all the time. We've somehow got to find a way of exploring our inner world and understanding what our vulnerabilities are. And this is increasing our levels of self-awareness, and this is a vital part of your recovery. And it's the only way to get your confidence back after divorce. There's no point papering over the cracks of the pain and the betrayals and all of those horrible things. We have to find a way to come to terms with all of that and to process the pain and the hurt, because if we don't process it, it's going to keep popping up over and over and over again, and that's the last thing we want when we're trying to get our happy life back again. So improving our self-esteem when our confidence has taken a massive dip, is a priority, and it's important to think of our whole self. So we obviously, it almost goes without saying, but I'm going to mention it, we need to look after our physical well-being. We need to meet our own needs there, and our emotional well-being. So we need to understand what makes us feel rested, what we enjoy, what we love doing, and getting to know ourselves quite a bit more than we perhaps did before. We've never had that time before to reflect on these kind of things, but it's really important to build your confidence for dating after divorce. So taking care of all your physical needs and mental health needs and emotional well-being needs is really important, because if we can flourish on the inside, we're gonna glow in life. We're gonna show up as a happier person, and that's really attractive because other people like to be in that energy. The other thing as well is, I know probably when we were dating back in our 20, I mean, I'm 58 now, but when I was dating, sort of back in my 20s, we didn't have we didn't even have the internet, didn't have online dating or anything like that. But our options now are far greater than they ever were, and of course, online dating is an option. But so is, the old-fashioned methods of going out, getting out into the world, making friends, meeting new people, and creating those social connections is more of a priority than anything else. When you're busy creating a social life, guess what happens? This is what happened to me. You know, a dating match will come in literally, by the way, oh, I'm doing this, and then by the way, oh, do you fancy going to see a music gig or something like that? So staying active, keeping social, yes, use the dating apps, but do be very, very selective and have a strategy about how you use those. So I'm going to be producing content that will give you some ideas about that. Far too many people that I see in divorce groups are making some really crucial errors of judgment when it comes to online dating. So, please don't just jump in without having some kind of strategy in place for dating apps. If you'd like to know more about dating successfully and having the support of people who are in a similar position, of a similar age, and have the same aspirations, then please do pop over into my free Facebook group. I'll leave a link in the description. It'd be great to see you in there. And in there you would have access to those kinds of connections and that kind of information and training as well, to help you stay positive and hopeful during your dating experience. So what's really, really important is moving forward in life from the divorce and trying to make peace with it in whatever way is possible is essential, because we've got the rest of our lives to live, and we do want to live our happy ever after. That's something I never gave up on. And things that the split I went through was pretty harrowing and very, very traumatic. But I never gave up on myself. I decided I'm going to work out how relationships are meant to work, because I obviously didn't have a clue. I'm going to make sure that I learn how to be happy. And when I did those things, I went and I built up all of this sort of bank of resources, and I nurtured myself through this sort of healing time. Then life just it wasn't magic, but it felt like it magically unfolded. And I was attracting some lovely relationships, not just sort of dating, intimate relationships, but just friends, colleagues, acquaintances. Everything improved. So keep your eye on the goal. You do want to look about starting dating at some point, and I'm not saying for one moment to just rush in without having done any healing work, but do keep your eye on the goal and put yourself as a priority for wanting to live and creating a life, creating your happy ever after. So it's totally possible to create this amazing life, and it's focused on you. It's time to be selfish, ladies. It's time to put yourself first and nurture yourself, and raise your levels of self-esteem and confidence. It's an inside job. And in the course of my healing, I became completely rejection proof. That's another the subject of another video that's going to be popping along fairly shortly, because fear of rejection was something that I really struggled with, and what we do struggle with and what we're scared of tends to show up a lot more in our lives. So becoming rejection proof is really important as part of the healing process in getting your confidence back after divorce. So if you would like to see more content like this, then please do click like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be great to get a conversation going as well, so maybe drop some comments below the video and we can get a conversation going, because I want to help as many people as possible get their dating confidence after divorce, because we deserve to be happy, don't we?